Good morning, Cowboys. I'm Nicole, and I'm here with this week's episode of K News to You. Coming up on today's show, we look at some new ways to entertain yourself while in quarantine. KN students voice their thoughts on cancel culture, and we explore the good, bad, and ugly of social media. Today is Monday, May 18th, and KN News Network starts right now. Welcome back, Cowboys. Last semester, a few of our student journalists had the opportunity to create a collaborative documentary with 5 other schools around the country. The topic was social media, the good, bad, and the ugly. For our mini documentary, we sat down with YouTube React series star and KN News Network alumni Michaela Pascal to find out what life is like in front of the camera.
I don't know the person in those videos. It's like a completely like Disney princess, a G-rated girl, and that's not who I am. So it almost irks me to like watch half of those videos because it's not me.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with the boys. Hey guys. See, I'm already freaking out.
The React series definitely was like my platform to kind of help jump me off on my YouTube career and just online career. It's a very big show that grew very quickly, and it's a lot of fun because it's a place where it's an entire cast of diversity, so you get to work with a lot of different opinions, and then also it's really nerve-wracking because you have to put your opinion out there, and that's the most vulnerable part of you is your opinion. I think going into this, I was pretty competitive in a lot of aspects because you have to get a lot of people to like you. And that's the hardest part, is being yourself and being likable to a lot of people. So it's almost like a competition every day to say the correct thing. And then against also other people that are in the field, you're kind of working with them and against them at the same time. So it's kind of just a competition to get to the top all the time. I completely have a character on camera, especially when I was starting. Now I've spent my past year being a more authentic version of myself. I don't censor myself as much, but online the pictures I post, they're photoshopped. Like everything it's fake. Questions, and I'm gonna be reading them and answering them. A lot of people in the industry, they say, don't read the comments, don't read the hate comments because that's what gets to you, or, oh, we don't care about the hate comments, but it's the most human thing to really care about it. And there's always gonna be the group of people that find your smallest or your biggest insecurities and somehow dig at it. People really just see us as like a piece of meat on camera. Any entertainer, you're not human to them. They're free game. Everyone knows this person, therefore they're free game. But it's not true because everyone goes home to a family and it affects your relationships and it affects themselves. Like this year alone, I got followed home. Like someone followed me home in a car because they don't see you as a human. Like it's not okay. And so the only way to kind of ever express that is anger, but then they're like, that's not professional of you to be angry, so you're just always kind of a piece of meat. I think this past year alone, I've uploaded maybe like every other month I'll do 1 video because it's a lot to handle. Like mentally, I can't handle what people have to say, so I'll step away from it. But then there's also times where I'm like, this is all I want to do. It's my passion and I love it.
We're driving to the tattoo shop.
It's gonna be fine.
I haven't been on a challenge shop since.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel today.
For positivity that the internet brings, it brings a lot of job opportunities, a lot of business opportunities. Like for yourself, I find a lot of different ways to make money. And then it's also just a really cool community building place. Like I've been able to build my own small community, and I don't know if I necessarily consider them fans because I interact with them so much. It's more of like a small little family, and I know that like my platform is important to them because they trust each other and me. So it's like a beautiful responsibility in a way. I think what needs to be fixed through social media is, I think everyone as a viewer has to know it's not that serious. Everything people say, it's not that serious. I think the less you take from everyone and everything as so serious, then you can kind of also enjoy real life and know you don't have to be this Photoshop chick you see on Instagram. Like that's not real life. So I think the more we don't hold everyone to such a standard and you don't assume that everything you see is real, nothing is that serious to you, and it's just a lot healthier that way.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!
If you want to watch more stories like these, including pieces from Saugus and West Ranch, click the link in the YouTube description below or on our Instagram bio. Now, as more people turn to social media for entertainment during this time of quarantine, the risk involved with social media only grow. Before school was shut down, our CNN reporters took a look at the causes and effects of cancel culture and how it affects politics. Here's more. Obviously, people make mistakes when they're young and they, make dumb choices. But I feel like that shouldn't be a way as to why you would cancel someone.
In today's digital age, social media is more popular than ever. But with social media comes more surveillance and exposure. This exposure can be harmless and even positive, but there are also negatives, such as cancel culture. Similar to being shunned from a community, cancel culture involves publicly calling out and even blocking individuals based on polarizing opinions or actions. While this culture gains popularity, not all youth agree on this method.
I think that cancel culture is just an excuse for people to be angry. I think today a lot of people just want to argue and don't really like to see that people can change or that people have different views.
One, it does hold people who are in the public figure and eye very accountable, but it also can cause innocent people to be targeted for no reason.
This year has seen its fair share of cancel mentality. Freshman House of Representative Katie Hill resigned from Congress after allegations came out about inappropriate relations with fellow staffers and intimate photos of her were published on conservative news outlets. But was her resignation necessary?
I think that she shouldn't have dropped her position. I think that people overreacted to that, and I think that if we would have given her a better chance, we would have had a better experience with her as our representative.
If you could just look at this with like an open mind and realize, okay, do they really deserve this? I feel like situations could be treated a lot better that way.
California is holding a special election to fill Katie Hill's empty congressional seat.
And Democratic candidate Christy Smith acknowledged the drawbacks of this cancel mentality.
As a political candidate now running for Congress, myself, as a grown woman, as a 50-year-old woman, have found myself nearly brought to tears, honestly, by the cruelty and some of the lies and things that have been said not only about me, but about my family members. And I find that really troubling. What that really compelled me to think about even more than I had previously is what that means for young people, for our kids even in 6th grade or middle school or high school who find themselves in this social media environment and without access to meaningful social relationships that help support them through what can be a pretty cruel environment sometimes. And so I think it's a really important time for all of us to take a step back and reflect about that, how we use that medium to communicate with each other and how we treat each other as people when using that medium.
Republican candidate Mike Garcia spoke to our reporters at a campaign event about the importance of consumer privacy, but also shared his concerns.
Privacy is obviously critical in all endeavors, but we have to do it in a way that it doesn't put so much burden on small businesses that they can't stay up on the red tape and all the paperwork. But the consumer has a right to privacy.
With this new election comes a new wave of voters who have to juggle social media biases with campaign promises.
If you're going to vote, you need to be educated on who you're voting for, what you're voting for. You need to do a lot of research to find out what you believe and what's true.
This year's my first year voting, so I feel like what I voted for is what I think is good for our country. I feel like it's important that you vote for who you think is good for you and who you think is good for your country, because obviously every vote counts.
Currently in the media environment, there's a lot of misinformation in the social media market. And so students as consumers of political information should be careful about that, because if you're only making your political decisions based on what you might see on Twitter, you might not be making a full balanced decision.
Speaking of elections, last Tuesday was a runoff election between Mike Garcia and Christy Smith. Here's Kat with details on what exactly took place.
What's up? This is Kat with a brand new edition of Polytalk. On this episode, I'd like to jump right into the California special election that took place on Tuesday, May 12th. In late October of 2019, former House Representative Katie Hill resigned as a result of admitting to an inappropriate relationship with a campaign staffer.
How much of you regrets the decision to actually resign? Any part of you think you should have stayed and fought?
I strongly feel that I made the right call in stepping down for several reasons.
Following her resignation, California Governor Gavin Newsom called for a special election. These elections take place in order to fill a vacant seat in the House of Representatives. California's 25th Congressional District Special Election differed from past races due to COVID-19. Although state law requires on-site voting to be available to voters, many ballots were submitted at home by mail in order to help contain the virus. Winning by just 12%, Santa Clarita veteran Mike Garcia won the special election with 56% of votes, leaving Christy Smith with 44% of counted votes. Due to a different method of voting this time around, an undetermined number of mail ballots have yet to be tallied. Both Garcia and Smith are qualified to run for a full term in the general election come November 2020. However, many political analysts speculate that Garcia's win in this special election will provide a huge boost in his next campaign. For KNU News Network, I'm Kat Gonzalez. Now back to you, Nicole.
Thanks, Kat. It's interesting to see how politics have had to change in these difficult times. Not only politics, but entertainment has changed as well. As quarantine gets extended, you may want to look at some different ways to spend your time while at home. Here's Warren with 3 new ways on how to keep entertained.
Hey Cowboys, it is Warren. With school ending soon and assignments are winding down, you may have plenty of free time to want to spend with friends. Thanks to technology, there are many ways to have fun while keeping a social distance. With that in mind, here are 3 ways to entertain your friends during quarantine.
3, 2, 1.
If you're in the mood for a good film or TV show, gather up your friends for a movie night through a video call. All you need to do is share your screen, open a streaming site such as Netflix, Disney+, or Movies Anywhere, and press play. This is best done if calls a Netflix party or Zoom. For a much more interactive choice, online games are a great way to spend time. Programs such as Jackbox offer a wide variety of games for you and your friends to play through video calls. Some game packages include bluffing games, drawing games, fill in the blanks, sound effects, and trivia. Whether you're an amazing singer or not, karaoke is never a bad option. Similar to the movie night, all you need to do is gather some friends, share your screen, play any karaoke video on YouTube, and have fun. Well, that is all for me. Now let's take it back to our anchor, Nicole.
Thanks, Warren. Now in sports news, Marc is here to share some sports updates as well as an inside look to some new developments with the Los Angeles Rams. Here's more.
Hey guys, Marc Monroy here, and sports are back. Well, for one country at least. That's right, the German Bundesliga has returned following a 2-month hiatus, and some of the best teams in Europe have returned, like Borussia Dortmund and the mighty Bavarian giants Bayern Munich. The games will be played behind closed doors, but one German club has taken it to the next level. Borussia Mönchengladbach have made cardboard cutouts of fans to put in the empty stadium seats so that the atmosphere won't be too dead. In the other European leagues, there has been dates confirmed as to when the country's respective leagues will resume. The English Premier League is targeting June 1st, the Italian Serie A on June 13th, and the Spanish La Liga on June 20th. With sports here in the US still having made no progress, there has been some activity with the Los Angeles Rams as they have unveiled their new rebranded jersey to go along with their new rebranded logo. Let's just say this whole rebranding has left many fans unhappy.
Well, Cowboys, that's all for today's show. Thanks for tuning in today for this episode of KNU News to You. Please remember to always stay positive during these hard times of the pandemic and continue social distancing as we're hopeful that it will all be over soon. We would also like to wish you all good luck on your AP tests. I'm Nicole Marquez. Have a wonderful week, Cowboys.